Hey everyone, this is Elias from Rematch Media, and today we're going to be taking a look at the 2023 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray Convertible. Now, this thing is incredible. This is a lot of blast. And yeah, unfortunately I forgot my New Balance and my Jorts, but let's get started. We get started in the front and we can see this thing looks mean. First, the obvious red mist metallic color. This thing looks unbelievable. I love the shine it has. It really has a good amount of sparkle, but when it's nice and dark, it has a smoother look to it. So you don't get that pearl look, which is really nice in this. Mazda, I love your guys' red, but man, Chevy, you guys really killed it with this. This looks awesome. It doesn't hurt that it's just a really great looking front end. And we have, again, just kind of that V shape coming forward. But overall though, this thing is nice. I love the headlights. We have the super aggressive LED lighting system here. We have the nice black trim around the openings for the front. And we have nice front lip as well. And couple of things. So we don't have one front facing camera. We actually have two. Yes, this has two front facing camera. One over here and one over here. And it's the front HD vision. Unfortunately, we don't have full 360 because the mirrors don't have it, but that's fine because really this is what I need because when you go to park, what it actually does, it gives you a top view setup as well as the individuals on the sides to make sure that you don't bump this, and you get a little bit of help with the front suspension to lift up so that you make sure, again, you don't destroy this beautiful front end because it does look really good. But yeah, we have that set up. It just looks really nice. No complaints of like the design. Really, it's just Chevy, you guys nailed it. I love this front end. Super aggressive, no issues there. So let's go ahead and take a look at under the front hood. Yeah, let's see what we have in here. We get under the hood and we have no engine because this is the first generation of Corvette that has the engine in the middle. So it's a mid-engine Corvette. So that frees up the front for us to be able to have some storage, and you can actually fit a good sized luggage in there, a good duffel bag as well. And yeah, this has, you know, nice some plastics for your mounting of your front license plate, which we don't like here in Texas. You know, no drilling holes, but it looks nice. It looks nice in under here as far as the materials. Again, you could store some good amount of space under there. We have our fill spot for our brake fluid as well as our windshield wiper. But overall, it's nice to have this additional storage. Glad they still gave this as an option. So let's actually go ahead and take a look at the actual engine. So we get under the actual hood of the or the actual engine compartment of the Corvette, and we can't see what we have. Let's talk about that in a little bit, but first, take my word, under here we have the 6.2 liter LT2 V8 cranking out 495 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque. It is connected to the 8-speed dual clutch transmission, and then the power is going to the rear wheels. Now, in order to get those power numbers, you do have to have the performance exhaust, which this has it optioned out. And let me tell you, I don't know if I can have a Corvette without this exhaust. If the other non-performance exhaust is quieter and doesn't sound as good as this, yeah, shell out the extra money for it because this sounds so good. And as far as what we're seeing here, it's a shame that we don't see the engine. So again, when we have the convertible, we don't get the visual kind of glass that we have with the other one, or see-through for the engine compartment. Yeah, if the engine were ugly, okay, but this thing looks beautiful in here. So yeah, it's kind of a shame. Now, a couple of things. We do still have some covers for some maintenance things, be careful. This stuff is really hot, just like the little signs say there. And surprisingly, this is actually cooler. So yeah, this does a great job of making sure that it's good to the touch. As you can see, I'm holding it for a while and we were pushing this guy. And we do have a couple of screws really all around to uncover this, but you do have to replace this because there is a warning here that says carbon dioxide poisoning if you don't put the covers on, as well as these little flappy things, because it's made to send the air out through the back there. But overall though, yeah, I'm kind of disappointed because I really wanted to see this, but it's pretty cool that the engine is back here. The power delivery is insane. The power delivery, it's such a great balanced car. Having the weight back here, having the power really short to get to the end, to the wheels, it's just an incredible feeling engine. Those transmission shifts are so fast. I know we don't have a manual, but geez, those gears, when you hit that paddle shifter, it's just instant. It's almost like it's like knows that I'm about to shift and it's just ready to pounce. So they are incredibly responsive, whether it's upshifts or downshifts. Just the sound is unbelievable. The power delivery, just everything about this configuration is incredible. Chevy, you guys have really outdone yourself with this engine. So yeah, let's go ahead from here. Let's actually go a little bit forward and take a look at those wheels and tires. We get down to the wheel and tire package and we have this beautiful black wheel, and it is wrapped in the 245/35 in the front and the 305/30 in the back. We have these Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's. These things are incredible. They love this heat. They love to really give you so much confidence because that's what this thing does. These tires have been incredible. The feel of the road, just everything has been really good. The grip is incredible. The suspension, so this does have the suspension to raise it when you are maybe not in the best of road conditions, or you have a bump that you kind of got to get over, speed bump. You know, there's a couple of places by my driveways, but yeah, it's been great. Suspension has been unbelievable. You could make this thing so soft and comfortable and literally just have it absorb everything, and then you could put it so that you're absorbing everything and you're feeling everything in the most incredible way when you put that thing into track mode. I was so surprised at how good this thing was. Now, the other thing is the balance we get with these wheels and tires and suspension. I had it in track mode just because I was trying to see maybe difference between maxing everything out, and turns out it turned off or lets you slide a little bit more, and I wasn't expecting it. I was at a stop sign making a right turn and the rear kicked out, but in the most balanced way. It felt like I had the most control of an uncontrolled car, if that makes sense. So the rear kicked out, and literally I was one-handing the steering wheel and was just able to just nice counter steer, and it was so good. That's how balanced the suspension, the power delivery, the weight distribution is on this car. Yeah, it is so damn good. The brakes, yeah, you could literally slam on the brakes. Your food, what you just ate for breakfast, lunch, dinner from the day before, from today. Yeah, this thing really stops on a dime. And especially with these performance brakes option on this, they're just incredible. Let's go ahead and see what we have on the side. We get to the side and you could see this is the best angle of the Corvette. Yeah, the side profile is what makes this thing look so incredible. Now, a couple of things. This is kind of giving me Baby Huayra kind of vibes to it. You know, with the black roof and just the shape of it, everything. It just looks really, really good. So let's get started on the front side of things. A lot of shaping going on. A lot of shaping to get the air through as quickly as possible to be able to cut through the air as quickly as possible. So a lot of beautiful lines kind of connecting. We do have the side skirt, which is a nice little design, sticks out a little bit from the body of the car, which is good. And we have black mirrors. Yes, I love black mirrors, especially against a beautiful red like this. We have the roof, with this being the convertible, they opted out for the black roof, which, yes, that's the way you want to go. We have some beautiful line shaping here, and again, we're shaping things to get some air back in there through the side door here, and just more beautiful lines. Just, it's a really great design to the Corvette, and the proportions look really, really nice. It does feel a little bit more back heavy, and that's because that's mainly where all your weight really is. But overall though, it's a nice design from the side. Now, I have the key fob in my pocket. I will go ahead and reach in, and right in here you have a button where you press and you'll be able to open up. Nice frameless window, which I love, always a nice design. Now let me go ahead and hop in, and I will show you guys the top going down. And there you have it. Top is down and you're ready to go. Now you also have a little window back there, which you can put up and down. And now to put the top up, just a single button and that'll get it started. And there you go. That's the side profile, the roof. So let's get moving to the fun part, the back. We get to the back, and okay, so maybe the rear is probably one of the better looking parts, but no, that side looks good, but this rear looks so, this is just a beautiful car. It really is. So, and that's what we have here. We have a beautiful looking rear end. So we're actually gonna start a little bit higher than we usually do, because we have at the top, we have the rear view camera mounted on the hardtop. Right underneath, we have the rear window that actually can go down, whether you have the top up or down, which is nice. My favorite, it says Corvette 70, 1953 to 2023. Such a small little touch, but it just looks so nice, especially when you're looking at it through your rear view mirror. I love the way that that little detail was added there. Well, unfortunately though, because we have the convertible option, we don't have the see-through engine cover on here. So it is a shame that we lose that, but we do gain the outside fun elements. I just wish Chevy would have been able to do a mix of both. I know sometimes engineering wise, whatever the case is, it would be nice to have both. And then we have our storage area here, which we'll get into. We have a nice little Stingray badge here, which looks really, really nice, especially with it being in black and the color being red. We have this rear spoiler up here. I do like the more aggressive, yeah, boy racer looking spoiler, but this is still a nice touch, especially that it's in this nice black color. And black color badging. The taillights look so good. I love the look of these taillights. I'll go ahead and unlock it so you guys can see kind of the little animation to it, but it just looks really, really cool to see that there. And again, just the design looks really nice. And we have those quad exhaust tips. So good, so loud. Yeah, they're really obnoxiously loud and I love it. But they can still be quiet. You can still make it extremely quiet. So key fob in my hand, and I will go ahead and push the rear button, and we have this compartment here. We have storage in the back, just like we saw the storage in the front. There's a lot more here as far as depth, so there is a good amount of depth than what it really looks like. And there's kind of, yeah, there's, what I mean by that is it's kind of hidden, because if you're gonna want to put things kind of in like that if they're long, or yeah, you just need to, because there's some more storage in there. But don't put ice cream back here. Don't put something that can't get hot because this thing is not very thick. So in a day like this where it's scorching hot, the heat will transfer in here, and this area does get a little bit on the warmer side, especially, you know, not too much from the engine, I don't think so, but definitely from the top. But overall though, I was surprised at how much space there is. All my gear is shoved in here, and there's plenty more space available because, again, I put my backpack to really kind of go in and get to almost this area here. So we'll close this off, and I love the way it closes. So when you close it, it doesn't close all the way. You just kind of push it down, and it will grab the hinge, so to speak. So it is this, like a soft close option there. So pretty good. And now comes the fun part. It has remote start. So let's go ahead and get near the exhaust so you guys can hear it. Yeah, that thing is insane. It sounds so good. My neighbors know literally when I leave the house. So let's go ahead and hop in and go for a ride. You get inside of the 2023 Corvette, and this looks like a fighter jet. Yes. There's a lot of it's ready to go. It's a rocket ready to go, and it looks like that inside. So let's get started on a couple of things. We get started on the door, and the door is nice. It's nice and comfortable, good positioning for my left arm. No complaints with the positioning of where the buttons are regarding the windows, the convertible top, that stuff. We do have the Bose Performance Series speakers on here. The design is, I don't know, it just kind of looks like tacked on. As far as the kind of outer grille goes, but it's okay because this thing sounds really, really loud and really clear. So I am impressed with this Bose system. And yeah, to open the door, it's actually like a little button. It reminds me of the Lexus RX that you push the button to get it open, which is nice. I kind of like that instead of having to do a handle, which you still do have in case of an emergency or something like that, where there's no power to the Corvette. You still have that option of a manual handle right down there. And we get to the seats, and the seats are not big boy friendly. So yeah, you're gonna want to work out a little bit. Make sure you lay off the tacos, make sure you lay off the barbecue. It's a little hard here in Texas, but they're a little bit on the tighter side for me. But I gotten used to. I've kind of gotten used to the squeeze to the point where I'm like, I'll accept the torture that this is giving me. But yeah, they're nice though. They are beautiful looking. They do have the heated option when those days get cold, as well as the vented option when it's super hot, like right now. But yeah, other than that though, just like I said, lay off the tacos, lay off the brisket, and hit the gym a bit, and these things will be perfect. And you want something like this. You want something to squeeze you, and you can even change them. The adjustability is really nice to have it really squeeze you, especially when you're pulling the G's you will in this. Then we get over to the steering wheel, and the steering wheel is one of my favorite shaped steering wheel. This is insane. I love the way that this is shaped. I love the flat top. I love the flat bottom. I love the flat sides. It just looks really good and performs really well. One thing though, I wish these kind of like connecting points were slightly higher, maybe dead center, so that I can hold it literally dead center, because right now, in order for it to really work, I'm having to kind of hold it a little bit on the lower side or the lower half, and I don't know, it doesn't feel like a super comfortable spot. That's why I'm having to hold it here, but then I'm having to adjust my hands to get to all the awesome things this has. So let's get started on the front. So we have our cruise control setting stuff on the left. We have the Z mode. Z mode is like your drive mode that is extremely customizable. We'll take a look at that, but yeah, the Z mode gives you tons and tons of options to adjust suspension, engine, shift, the works really. Then we come over to the right side, and we have the heated steering wheel button. We have your radio talk and your controls for the gauge cluster. One of my favorite things though, which I'm really liking, idea, but maybe not 100% execution, are these buttons down here. We have the volume up and volume down buttons, and on the right side, and on the left hand side we have your next track and previous track. So I love the idea because they're buttons down here and you're supposed to push them forward, but I would have liked to have it where I could have pushed them back towards the front of the car with my thumbs, because I feel like the thumbs were a better choice than having to use my index kind of finger back here. But either way though, I love this positioning because you have the you have those there, and it's not something that is obstructive in the back, which I know I've always said I've loved the buttons in the back, but we can't put buttons there because we have these paddle shifters here. And with these paddle shifters, lets you go through all the wonderful gears this has. Only thing though is they're a little bit on the small side. They're on the small side. Again, it's partially because I want to hold the wheel a little bit more centered from the sides. And yeah, also actually when you're turning and you're wanting to shift, you kind of lose the bottom. The bottom is a little bit on the shorter side, so I don't know, I wish these were a little bit longer towards the bottom part of this. But other than that though, I kind of want a squared off, flat top, flat bottom, flat sides steering wheel for my car. Yeah, I wonder if we can fit this in the Miata. Now we get over to the gauge cluster, and the gauge cluster is digital. It's pretty cool. It does some cool stuff. So they do change with drive modes, which is cool. You have different colors, and then obviously when you go to your full-on track mode, that's when it really gets fun, and we see what I really want. This is what I want. We have those four little elements that just give you a ton of information. I believe you can change that, so I might explore that and just kind of leave it like that. Geez, this suspension is tightened up. But yeah, you have those four little elements. This is the view that I love. This is the view that I would definitely keep on my gauge cluster. Let's switch it back to my mode, which we'll definitely discuss what that is. But yeah, overall though, gauge cluster is really nice. We have a heads-up display, which is nice. It's very simple buttons on the side here. We do have some really cool layouts. We have the tachometer in a circular motion. We also have it in a bar fill. But yeah, it's really nice. Great set of data, telemetry, all the good stuff you're gonna want on the track. We get over to the infotainment system, and it's a small screen, and I could care less. Hell, you could give me no screen and I'd be happy in this. It's just because I'm focused on enjoying this drive. But you still get it. You still get a nice screen. It's nice and clear. We do have Apple Wireless CarPlay, which is what I have right now. Just really good system. It's your typical GM system, which I've loved. It's very, again, simple, straight to the point, not too much you really need to be doing. But yeah, you just go in there and you're set to go. This has been pretty much 99% of where it's been. Then we come over here to, yes, the command center, the control center. So let's start off with the right side. And we have the AC controls right going down, all your climate control settings coming down the right side of the center console. And I don't like a lot of the things. So one of the things that I don't like are the little lights in these things to tell you they're on. Yeah, I don't know if my sync is on between driver and passenger. I don't know if the auto climate control button is on. I don't know. Like they're super dim little tiny lights that I'm literally having to cup it to kind of see, hey, to stop the sun from hitting it, to see, hey, is this on or off? Yeah, I wish the lights were a little bit brighter, or the buttons themselves were a brighter light. Just kind of backlit buttons. So I think that's one of the biggest flaws that this has. Other than that though, it's great as far as functionality. I'm able to just dial in my AC controls with no problem, no issues, and get this guy cold or hot the way that I want it to go. The auto has been great as well, no issues. Set my temperature, good to go. But again, I'm needing to, because my wife doesn't use the auto, so I'm having to kind of figure out, hey, did she leave it on or did she turn it off? So yeah, that's kind of the only thing I would say. Let's change the little ambient lighting to it. Then we come over to the left side and we have the shifter. So yeah, the shifting buttons. Yeah, shifting buttons. Yes, the shifting buttons. So we have your park, your reverse you pull up, your neutral you push, your drive you pull up, and then you have your manual mode for the transmission. Yes, this has a manual mode, even though it is automatic. Yes, I know, it's the Vette that doesn't have a manual transmission, but we do have it, and it's pretty damn good in manual mode. And then go to the right, and I think this should have probably been the shifter, and we probably should have been a rotary dial for the shifter. But it's the drive mode. It's the drive mode button, and it's awkwardly covered by this thing hanging over it. Yeah, I don't understand this part of the design, but it is what it is. And then we have some great helpful buttons. Well, traction control off, helpful when you want to have some tire burning fun. And we have the suspension. So this has a suspension that will raise in the front for those steeper driveways and those speed bumps that are not low car friendly. So it has that, and you can program it to have it GPS located, so the moment you get to that area, it will automatically activate. Yes, I definitely activated it in my house. I don't need it 100%, but it's nice to have that as an option. And then on top of that, we have the front facing camera, which is great because you have the option of making sure that when you go to park, you're not going to bust that front lip with the parking spot location, as well as getting close to the car in front of you. So that's been a nice little feature. We come back a little bit more and we have the cup holders. Yeah, haven't really had a cup in this other than today because yeah, it gets hot. So yeah, cup holder has been okay, no issues. You can close that off. Yeah, you're probably not gonna want a big cup in here because the space is limited around it. And we come back here, we have the armrest for storage, we have the USB connections, back here USB-A, USB-C. Nice little armrest, comfortable, no complaints there. As far as, you know, long drives, no issues. We come back a little bit more, and this is the love or hate that I have with this feature, and that is the wireless charger. The wireless charger is behind me, so I am needing to kind of do one of these if I want to grab my phone. Now, again, yeah, granted, I'm driving. I should put it really back, but when I get out of the car, that's the annoyance because I'm having to do that. And yeah, I'm shorter, a little bit on the shorter side, so I do have to kind of push the seat forward. So this is even further back. I love it though because it's out of the way. We're limited with the space we have in here because it's a sports car. So I do love the fact that we have it back there. But yeah, again, just reaching for it is kind of a bit of a pain. But it's nice. It works. It works really well. It's been charging my phone. No issues there. You could pull, you know, the OnePlus G's in this, and it's still gonna stay in there because it's really in there, nice and snug. So I do love that. Now we have the convertible top. Actually, before we have the back window, so I can lower the back window down. It has the nice etching on it saying the 70 years of Corvette on there. Really nice, small, subtle touch, but it just looks so good. I can't roll down or put down the top because I have the camera on there, but we'll definitely go topless so you guys can see just how fun this thing is. I'll go ahead and show you guys how to put the convertible top down. So we'll just kind of stop here, and there's a little button on the left hand side that it works like a window switch. So if you want the top down, you push it down so that it can go ahead and put the top down. We may have to switch our hat to make sure it doesn't go flying. And there you go. Now we also have and it tells you folding complete. We have the option of that little rear window, which is nice. Unfortunately, I do lose the rear camera mirror option on here because the top itself has the mirror. But let's go have some fun with the top down. And then when you're done having fun, you could just go ahead and push, or actually pull, the little button. Again, just like if you're putting the windows up or down. Think of that, because it was a little tricky. I was like, well, I want the top to go up and down, or yeah. And if you continue holding it, it will also pick up the windows and you're good to go. Then we get to the trunk area, and the trunk area in the back is nice. It's nice and big. We've been able to really shove groceries in there. The only thing though, again, be careful with things that will melt, because they will melt. It gets a little on the hot side in there. So just be aware of that. The front area, the front trunk, it's good. You have good spacing. Again, weekend bags, go on a trip, small trip, you're really set with this. So pretty impressive. Now let's talk performance. We're dealing with the 6.2 liter LT2 V8 cranking out 495 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque. It is connected to the 8-speed dual clutch transmission, and then all the power is going to the rear because it is mid-engine configuration. Now, this thing is insane. It does 0 to 60 in 2.9. That is insane. Now, a couple of things as far as performance. We have, like I said, those drive modes. So to control that power when it is pretty nasty out there, we have the weather option. And right now it's marking that I have a V4 running in the back. Yes, so we shut down half the power and we're running on 4, so that again, when you're in pretty bad conditions, you're able to go ahead and drive this thing safe. And with the drive modes, again, you can see it's going to give you so with the weather, it's going to soften everything, lower everything. Again, we have only 4 cylinders on here running, which is nice. It's good. Make sure that you're nice and safe with this. And then you can go ahead and switch it to My Mode. My Mode is going to let you configure different things like steering, suspension, brake feel, and the engine sound. So the way that I've liked it is everything to the max minus the suspension, because it can get a little track like suspension. I mean, definitely in the sense of like, you're gonna feel that little pebble we just drove over. And for everyday driving, not what I want, but I still want the other things like a heavy steering wheel, like a great brake pedal, as well as nice and loud sound. So we have that. And then we have the Tour, which is gonna soften things up significantly and just kind of let you cruise, also be in switching between V4 and V8 to just keep things economical. And then we have the Sport mode. It's going to liven things up halfway, and then we have the full-on track mode. Now, I will tell you, track mode was intense. So I put it in track mode and I thought, okay, maybe I can make it louder, and I made a right turn from a stop, and this thing kicked out. And let me tell you, I haven't felt so in control of an uncontrolled vehicle, if that makes sense. The balance when the rear kicked out, because I didn't know the traction control was really off or just pulls back and lets you really rotate. But the control that I had in this was insane. I literally, when the rear flicked over, I literally was like this, hand barely on the wheel. I just corrected it. I was like, interesting. That's how good and balanced this thing is. It is insane. So let me go ahead. I'm not going to go full track mode for actually, let's go, we can do full track mode for a launch. So we'll go ahead and go track. So we get telemetry changing, hold the brake, hold the gas, it revs, and away we go. Oh boy, that is proper fast. That is insane. So I still have it in automatic so I can really focus on oh yeah, that is fast. So one thing I will mention is it feels fast, but from a launch it doesn't feel super fast like I've had other cars, but you look down and you're going significantly faster than those other fast feeling cars. Yeah. This thing is loud. This thing is American V8 power in your face. We'll do another launch. Okay, no, I take that back. This feels fast. This feels really fast. So I'll switch it over to manual mode. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and put it in my mode, have it in manual mode, so I can have a little bit of control over things. And suspension, even in the soft suspension, this felt great. The power delivery of a naturally aspirated V8 is just unbelievable. The brakes feel so confidence inducing that you could just really chuck this thing, and yeah, no problems with how it feels, and it just is incredible. The feedback you get from the wheel, again, we are in the we have it on the soft suspension. Let's go ahead and we will adjust that so that we can have a little bit more of a feel. And okay, there we go. Track, and away we go. Oh, it is just so good. Yeah, the suspension makes a massive difference. This thing wants to rotate. The electronic limited slip differential, you have a little meter there that says the coupling of it, and it is just so good at getting this guy rotated safely and getting it to where you point it. Yeah, this thing is insane at how good it sounds, responds, everything. Now imagine this feel with the top down. Yeah. Let's yeah, I think my breakfast just kind of came up. That's how good this is. Okay, so we'll have another launch, and coupling is at 42%. We go, and whew, yeah, this thing is fast, and the shifts, you guys can hear it. You can hear me clicking through them, and how fast it just goes to the next. It's almost like it knows that I'm gonna shift, and it's preemptively ready for the next shift, because it is. Yeah, it is just so good at going through the gears. And again, the suspension feel is incredible. Get this turn and get it to go, and away it goes. Yeah, this has been an incredible feel. I know why this is so popular, and I know why everyone else is scared of these things. They are so fast, they respond well, it gives you that feel. Now granted, I've never driven any other Corvette other than this, and I think that just spoiled it for me, because this is such a an incredible vehicle. It really is. It is a rocket. It's a freaking rocket. So It's just so good at getting the power down. It's so good at getting, you know, the feel to the wheel. It's just good at everything. Well, guys, I hope you've enjoyed my review of the Corvette Stingray. And remember, find the right gear. See ya.